Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps?
Should I stay or should I go?
So when it comes to Locke as the governor for the Central Bank of Iraq, should he stay or should he go? There's a lot of rumors and stories out there about Locke resigning or him being pushed out because of his age and it's time for him to retire. And then you got people out there saying, oh, this is all fake news. Or maybe it's just the fact that there are some corrupt people still in government trying to grab control of what's going on and trying to grab control of the Central Bank of Iraq. And one of the steps they have to first do is force Locke out of that position. Is it possible that these stories are circulating because they want Locke out? Did he really take part in some crimes? And I mean, there's a lot of different scenarios. That's the thing when it comes to Iraq. You're not always 100% sure of what's really going on. So, should Locke stay or should he go? If this man is truly, and I mean truly, and it can be proven that he was involved with some criminal activity when it comes to the banking sector of Iraq or at all, let's put it that way, as an appointed official, he should not be involved in any crimes. But if it's found that he was indeed involved in crimes, then yeah, he should be gone. He should be out of there and convicted for that matter. But if it's just all bullshit and this is another one of those moves by Maliki and the coordinating framework, then people have to do something about the coordinating framework. They have a lot of infighting in the first place. Really, there's a serious schism going on in the coordinating framework. So we're not sure where this information is coming from, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't listen to the news because this person's like, see, Pimpy, because I said in the chat, well, maybe it's just fake news. Who knows? And they're like, see, Pimpy, you said there is no fake news. I did not say there was no fake news, but not everything can be fake news. You know what I mean? Just because you don't like the information, you can't go, oh, I don't like this information. It must be fake news. Nope. What you got to get to is the bottom of why this situation is there in the first place. I just want to give everybody a quick reminder. You can go over to Pimpy's News Network. It is free for everybody. All right? Everybody has access to the videos that are on the website. I'm going to keep it free as long as possible. Just keep in mind that it does cost money to maintain. So I would appreciate it if you can afford it when you come to sign in, that you choose one of these plans. You don't have to. Again, it's free. But this will help with the cost of the website. So if you can afford it, please choose the plan. And that money goes to maintaining the website. But if you can't afford it, look, all the videos are free. There is another way in which you can assist, and that is when you go to my YouTube channel, just watch 2 or 3 or 4 videos, let them go all the way through. That helps out the channel as well. So it doesn't cost you anything, still free. All you have to do is just watch videos. This website, Pimpy's News Network, it is free to you as well, but if you can select a plan and you feel like donating, every little bit helps with maintaining the website. I appreciate it. Before we get started, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. If you're thinking about buying gold and silver, head on over to our friends at Miles Franklin. The link will be down below in the description. When you make your purchase, make sure you use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and they'll take care of you. If you have any additional questions, you can reach us over here at this phone number or over here at this particular email. For all orders over $10,000, reach out by email and we'll make sure that you get a great deal. So come on over to Miles Franklin and add to your precious metal inventory. All right, so after doing a little digging around, here's what we came up with. The situation surrounding Locke, the governor of the Central Bank of Iraq, is currently fluid and somewhat unclear. As of August the 8th of this year, there was conflicting reports regarding his status at the CBI. Some sources indicated that he had retired or was in the process of retiring, while others suggested that the resignation had not yet been accepted by the government of Iraq. So here is the conflicting reports. On August the 8th, reports emerging stating that Locke had retired from his position as governor. However, other sources claimed that he was still in office and that his resignation was not finalized. For instance, a contact from Mountain Goat mentioned that the government had not accepted his resignation and urged caution regarding premature conclusions about his departure. So what you'll notice about this whole paragraph right here, a couple of things. In the beginning, it tells you that his resignation was submitted and that the Iraqi government had not yet accepted his resignation. But in here, they go on to say that the conflicting report comes from Mountain Goat, one of these Dinar Guru contributors. So, a bulk of your misinformation could literally be coming from Dinar Gurus. Current status, as per the latest updates on August the 9th, it appears that Al-Awlak's future with the CBI remains uncertain. There are indications that he may continue to serve temporarily while discussions with U.S. Treasury officials are ongoing regarding financial reforms and strategies for Iraq. So the expected timeline. Given these circumstances, it is difficult to pinpoint an exact date for Al-Awlak's last day at the Central Bank of Iraq. If we consider the ongoing negotiations and potential acceptance of his resignation by the government, it could be inferred that any transitions might occur within a few weeks following these discussions. So the information is that he is resigning. That doesn't mean he quits that day. The conflicting information is coming from Dinar Gurus, you guys, not Iraq. Dinar Gurus. So he has submitted a resignation letter. The resignation letter was accepted, but on there is not a date for his final day of work, which is interesting, by the way. So when your conflicting information comes from Dinar Gurus, then yeah, you should probably question the validity of it. Iraq's oil production exceeds its scheduled share in OPEC, 196,000 barrels increase per day. See, the concern was oil prices had been going down. So cutting the amount of production that's going on would cause the prices to go up. Think supply and demand. So you can take a look at what happened over the past month. On July the 11th, it was $84.69 a barrel of oil. As of the 6th of August, it had dropped down to $76.17 per barrel. Over the last couple of days, oil prices have gone up. It is now $79.66 per barrel. This goes right back in the whole issue about the price that Iraq has set per barrel in their budget. There's an expectation that they have to meet. If they don't meet it, then everything they plan for, it ends up being a deficit for Iraq. Now, a few months ago, we heard that this was a problem in Iraq and that the central bank had kicked around the idea of devaluing the Iraqi currency again. I was I hesitate to bring it up, but you would see them talk about it in articles from time to time. And that was they were thinking about devaluing the Iraqi dinar all over again. Now, me bringing this up doesn't mean it's going to happen. I'm just bringing to your attention that they have spoken about devaluing the Iraqi dinar because of the rate they had set in the budget per barrel, which I believe is around $70 per barrel. So if you cut production, the prices will go up. There's a lot of pressure coming from the Biden administration for Iraq to step up the production. As you can understand, it is an election year. If they increase production, then the cost per barrel goes down and the cost of gas will go down as well. That's why you're seeing all this back and forth between the United States and Iraq. It's all about the election. It said Iraq's oil production continues to exceed OPEC plus mandated target levels despite the Arab country, along with Russia and Kazakhstan, handing over surplus crude production compensation plans to the coalition's General Secretariat for the first 6 months of this year. Baghdad, along with Moscow and their Sultan, agreed to gradually reduce oil production by 2.2 million barrels per day from July until September of the following year. Iraq's oil production has again exceeded OPEC Plus's mandated target quotas during July of this year, as the government confirms the feasibility of policies supporting production reduction by the coalition, according to Argus Media. The latest data released by the state company Sumo, which specializes in marketing oil in Iraq, showed that the country's crude production increased by 160,000 barrels per day, registering 3.99 million barrels per day during the month of July. So Iraq so far has not reduced the amount of oil they're supposed to produce. This can cause issues between OPEC members and Iraq if Iraq continues to do this. And you got to remember that OPEC Plus, you have people in there like Russia. They are members of OPEC. So I'm sure there's a lot of pressure on Iraq to do the right thing. As you can see right here, Iraq has not been able to meet OPEC Plus oil production targets in any month during 2024. So they are overproducing oil. But it isn't just Iraq who has an issue. You have countries that have not achieved their goals. In contrast to countries whose production shares have exceeded OPEC plus targets, a number of alliance members have not been able to meet their production targets in recent months. So oil productions touch around 80,000 barrels per day, and their target is 550,000 barrels per day. Yeah, that's way below your target amounts. Malaysia, their production fell below expectations. They average about 40,000 barrels per day in the same period. So you have some countries overproducing and other countries underproducing. And that causes a lot of turmoil in the oil markets. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there, especially content creators, who are excited that Iraq is going digital. But you have to see the bigger picture. This is all part of getting every country involved into the central bank digital currency. Whether you want to believe it or not, it doesn't matter. But they are all tied into a fintech company, and fintech company is behind the CBDC. Central bank governor, we have a broad transformational program towards digitalization. So Al-Alaq confirmed that there is a wide transformational program towards digitalization and the use of the electronic payment tools. Don't get me wrong, using ATMs and stuff like that are fine. But the truth of the matter is, the banking around the world has been digital for a while now. But trying to push this 100% to a digital cash, that's not good. And that's exactly what their goal is. So this article goes on to say that Iraq is installing all kinds of infrastructure so that people can have access to cash digitally, which is good for the community, good for the economy, and easier for consumers. So advisor to the Prime Minister, the government established a roadmap for the work of the economic model in Iraq. The financial advisor to the Prime Minister, Saleh, on Saturday outlined the vision of the government's curriculum on the economic model, and while he indicated that he will direct investment decisions to achieve its goals, stressing that the government of the Prime Minister established a roadmap for the work of the economic model in Iraq. Saleh said in a statement reported by the official news and seen by the economy news that the economic model is a mathematical model used to represent the economy and analyze the behavior of various economic factors, as these models are used to understand how economic elements interact. Noting that at the level of the government curriculum for Iraq's philosophy, the basis of modeling the Iraqi economy were based on the important vision, based on the principle of decomposition of the entire economy, taking into account the macro variables, foremost of which are the basics of development and growth in the GDP and imposing stability and effective operations of the joints of the national economy and the level of interconnection. So the article goes on to talk about things that happened in the past and where they are currently. So they are taking steps, leaps and bounds, to try to reform the banking sector and help the economy out altogether. So like anything else, you have to be able to sift through the crap that you're hearing and make a decision on whether the news is real or not. But until you hear otherwise, just assume that Al-Alaq has submitted his resignation letter and has not put a date yet as to when his last day is. There are too many articles out there stating that he has submitted a resignation letter. We know that pretty soon Iraq is going to be here and talking to people in Washington about what they need to do to get back into good graces, have sanctions lifted on some of the banks, and allowing Iraq to move forward with reform without looking for excuses to penalize them every time that Iraq does something that pisses off the Biden administration. Anyways, that's it for now. I look forward to hearing from you. I'm out.